because the draw for the playoffs for the World Cup have been made and we are going to bring them to you. This is how they are looking. In playoff path A, the semi-finals are Italy against Northern Ireland and Wales against Bosnia. In B, it's Ukraine, Sweden and Poland, Albania. In C, Turkey against Romania and Slovakia against Kosovo. And in D, it's Denmark against North Macedonia and Czechia against the Republic of Ireland. We'll welcome in Ian Darke and Frank Leboeuf to talk more about what we see here. But let me start with you, Craig. General impressions, what stands out to you there?
Italy, Northern Ireland, Chechnya Republic. What was the other game I was looking at there? It's gone in my head.
Denmark.
No.
Denmark.
No, it was another one on the other side. Help me out, there's loads.
Ukraine, Sweden,
Nope.
Wales,
Northern
Bosnia.
Ireland.
Wales,
Bosnia-Herzegovina.
who seem to have a little bit of momentum under Craig Bellamy, scoring a few goals, so that I think they might have a half-decent chance. But of course, look, Italy should go through. Should. However, they have a little bit of recent history of, falling at this hurdle. And if they were to lose to Northern Ireland, who are just not fishing in a pond, they're fishing in a pond, a very small pond with their player pool. So Gattuso's going to be under pressure, and bearing in mind he's made some very controversial comments in the last week or two about the qualification process when basically he was in a group with Norway, who won 8 out of 8, who were excellent. And he got Shaq very angry. That's another thing. Got Shaq steaming from the ears like an hour before the show. So, they are under pressure, and they're not a great side. And Norway proved that a few days ago. So, yeah, there's a few nice little games in there. The fact that Sweden are in this is a joke. I know they've got in through the Nations League, but they were bottom of the group. I mean, they're just so bad, Sweden. So I just don't expect anything.
But time for Isak and Gyökeres to come back and maybe save it for them. March we're looking at for the semi-finals.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, from what I saw,
this time.
From what I saw from Sweden in the group stage, and it wasn't a lot. What did they have? 2 points. It's going to take more than Gyökeres and Alexander Isak to save them. They're just at a bad place as a national team right now.
That's fair enough. Ian Darke, what stands out to you?
Well, Italy, I mean, it's a hell of a story, isn't it? 4 times champions of the world, all the great players that they've had. It's unthinkable that they didn't make the last 2 World Cups, and they might not make this one as well, because you look at their team, they've still got plenty of good players there, Bastoni, Tonali, Barella in midfield. Okay, they don't have a Paolo Rossi or a Vialli or a Mancini anymore, but this is a good team, really. But I think there are too many mental demons for them. As Craig was saying, they've fallen at this playoff stage, the last 2 World Cup qualifications, and they're going to have kittens, I think, about the prospect of even Northern Ireland and then going to Cardiff, where Wales really are a proposition if Wales get past Bosnia. So, I think this is the story for me of the whole playoff situation is can Italy make it this time? They've got a lot of psychological demons to beat.
So just 4 teams make it, just as a reminder of all those teams that we've just showed you. Who have you got, Frank? Who have you got making it to the World Cup?
Well, I will go for Italy because I think they will go through, and even if they remind me the France 90 and 94 between the 96 semi-final and us with 98, that was a real shamble. Even if they had very good players, but they couldn't find the chemistry. So I think Italy, I would say Denmark. Is that possible that Wales, can I see the bracket again?
No,
Wales,
Italy would then face either Wales or Bosnia-Herzegovina in the final.
So Italy, Denmark.
Either Turkey, Romania, Slovakia or Kosovo?
Oh yes, Turkey can make it.
Ukraine, Sweden, Poland or Albania?
I will go for Poland, just randomly I would say, but they proved in the past that they may be better than the others. So it's going to be either Poland or Ukraine for me, but I go for Poland.
Check.
I'll go for, I'll leave path A last. I'd love to see Ukraine qualify. I think Turkey goes from C, Czechia from D. And in all honesty, I would love to see Wales go. And I know Italy are the outstanding favourites here, but I've said time and time again, you give players an excuse not to win. 9 times out of 10, they take it. And while and continue to be highly critical of everything Gattuso had to say about the playoffs, just kind of offering that as opposed to kind of making the argument that, okay, we were up against an outstanding Norway team, but we were perfect otherwise. We look forward to the playoffs. Here he is kind of almost making an excuse for them not, and again, to Ian's point, given their history of the last 2 tournaments, are failing at the playoff stage. You just wonder if Italy are kind of charting their own path to fall at the final hurdle yet again. So I'm going to go Wales out of A.
They got absolutely, Italy this is, they got absolutely torn to shreds in the second half in the San Siro by Norway. And I mean torn to shreds. Now, they may say, well, we needed 9 goals and we'd sort of given up. I don't see it that way. Norway were a bit cautious in the first half, didn't want to give too much away. Then they came out and they played. And when they played, they opened Italy up. Now, Northern Ireland are unlikely to do that. Northern Ireland are a side that sits in, tries to soak up the pressure. They did it to some extent against Germany and did it pretty well. That's what they'll look to do against Italy. However, if Italy go through and then they have to go to Wales, if it is Wales in Cardiff, Wales will try and play without a great player pool, but will still try and play a more open, attacking, pacey, physical game. And the question, as Ian said, remains whether they have the mental capacity to be able to handle that. They have got some good players in their side, but they're pretty inexperienced up front. You know, the 20-year-old from, I think it's from Inter, who scored, can't remember his name.
Esposito.
Yeah, the 2 big lads up front, they were okay, but they were nothing special. So I would expect them to go through, you know, just on paper. But we've seen that before with North Macedonia and others where they've just faltered under the pressure. So there's just not a given, really.
So that's the UEFA playoffs, but we also know the Interconfederation playoffs and how they'll be shaping up as well with the semi-finals. We're seeing New Caledonia taking on Jamaica. The winner will face DR Congo in the final. And in the other semi-final, we will be seeing Bolivia against Suriname, and in the final, they will be facing Iraq. That's how things are looking there. What does it look like to you, Shaq?
Listen, on the top half of the bracket, New Caledonia are the lowest ranked of the teams in this playoff.
I've never heard of that country.
Oceania, so they qualified in Oceania. Is normally
the Australia.
No, the point stands. The point stands. I've never heard of the country
because Oceania's always had that one spot, which Australia has taken until they moved to Asia, and then New Zealand have always.
No, I know, but the point stands. I've never heard of the country.
I can't answer you for your lack of geography.
You probably wouldn't be too upset to be sent there. You probably wouldn't be too upset to be sent there. I'm sure it would be very nice, but it would be a long way.
We could arrange it. We could arrange it.
The point stands. I've still never heard of it.
Don't ask Shaq about geography anyway.
Are you the New Caledonian expert?
Lowest ranked of the teams. Jamaica coming to these playoffs in an interesting position. There's been a lot of fallout.
Oh, you're bitter because they knocked out Trinidad?
No, I'm not at all bitter.
Yeah,
I'm just saying they come into this with a lot of questions to answer. After only qualifying for the playoffs, Steve McLaren stepped down. So whichever way, they're going to have a new coach come March. Still no idea. It won't be me. I'm
Robbie Errol.
That we'll
Get
see.
the Errol involved.
Who that is come March. And then up against DR Congo, who knocked out Nigeria to get this far. So they come into this, and I know we're quite a few months away with a lot of momentum. Nigeria, one of the African powerhouses. On the other half of the draw, I think Suriname's a feel-good story, but I'm not sure if it goes any further. And then Iraq probably have this belief that it's theirs to lose, kind of, given the fact that they're in the final, you score 17 minutes into extra time to get you there. They probably think Lady Luck is with them as much as anything. Bolivia will be a test, but again, I'm not sure Bolivia is much of a test for Iraq.
He knows everything.
You've watched more of this qualifying campaign than you have any other football that I know about.
I don't watch the European qualifiers. Half of Europe is going to the World Cup. I don't watch the European qualifiers.
Yeah, I tell you what, you're across this lot. I mean, you're even across Iraq. Suriname, New Caledonia, Jamaica's problems, Bolivia.
Well, the good news is we've got Shaka's feel-good power rankings later. Tell me, Frank.
Okay, can I have a word about New Caledonia? That would be great. I mean, when I think about New Caledonia, which is, I think, I don't know how can you name it. It's a kind of a region or department of France, like Gibraltar will be in England or Suriname will be in Netherlands. When I think that they could be capable of winning, playing the World Cup. That made me think of it, Christian Carambe, who was born and raised there, and Antoine Camboire as well, who played for Nantes and Paris Saint-Germain. I think those guys would be so proud to see New Caledonia in the World Cup. So I really go for them, even if I think that's going to be so hard to go to qualify, but that would be great to see them.
Yes, there you go. Little geography lesson for us all today on ESPN FC. Better brush
Where
up
is it?
You know I need it.
Where is it?
It's just off the coast of Australia. Near Fiji.
That's
Oh my God.
Hold on, that's very generic. It's just off. Australia's a big place. What coasts it off?
It's east of Australia.
What coasts it off?
It's east of Australia, okay?
Well, that's very
It's
generic.
just where you want to spend your holidays because it's beautiful.
We'll bring in a world map tomorrow.
She's trying
We're bringing a globe
She's trying to
later.
pretend she's...
I included myself in the geography lessons, don't worry.
She's-